G'day guys, welcome back to Goodies Beer Reviews, my little place on the net. Today we've got a new one which I've never had before and I'm pumped for it. Staves Brewing Pale Ale, and it clearly says 5.3% on the can, 375ml can, which is a good size can, we like that. And we've got down the bottom 2019 Champion New South Wales beer. It is brewed in New South Wales, down Newcastle way, I think, from memory. Glebe. But yeah, Pale Ale, 5.3. Love the can. Got some medals on the side here, like your wines, and we've got Gold Sydney Royale 2019 and Sydney Royale Champion. So it's from the same year. On the top packaged 11/1/23, so she's fresh to go. This should be a banger then, hopefully. Let's crack it open. Got the bougie glass, but let's crack it open and see what we got. Hope everyone's day was bloody good. Sunday here, back to the real world tomorrow. Oh, you can smell that in the can. It just smells like a good pale ale. Everyone's going, well, what does that smell like? Or, well, if you know, you know, but very golden. Look at the colour. Hope the camera does it justice. Some good head. Carbonated. Well, hopefully it's bloody beer. But let's have a sniff. Let's have a go to the nose. Oh, wow. Not joking. This is one of the best smelling beers I've had. Oh, fruit, hops, body. Oh, I'm speechless. I'm without speech. Ooh, it does smell good. Anyway, head dissipates a bit quick, but you know what? Who cares? Head retention. Yeah. Let's have a go. Cheers, everyone. Yeah, definitely a pale ale. Light to moderate mouthfeel. Very easy to drink. And at 5.3, you're pushing a pale ale, aren't you? You're getting up there. But that's nice, yeah. I thought this brewery was from Newcastle or Wollongong, but it's in a city, but geez, I tell you. Staves. I might Google it later. Yeah, that's a really, really nice pale ale. That'd have to be one of the best pale ales I've had. And I don't mean like hazy, double, all the extra, qualifications on the beer and syllables, but that's just a lovely beer. I'm really, really impressed. I don't think there'll be much sediment in this one. It's very clean. It's very clean looking. Yeah, I wouldn't call it hazy. I'd call it cloudy maybe, or I don't know. It's definitely lighter than straw and a little bit over orange. Anyway, just there. Sunday. Beautiful weather here. Another glorious day. Not a cloud in the sky. It's about 6 p.m. now, I think. 6:20. My son and I went down and watched the UFC pay-per-view today with, we follow the UFC a fair bit, and he knows all about the fighters and the fights, and he studies things so, just enthusiastically. He's just very, if he gets into something, he's into it. And today, Volkanovski, he's the number one pound for pound fighter, or was, and he fought Islam Makhachev. And I've got to give it to you. I'm going to tell you this. Even my son said to me, he mentioned Kathy Freeman, who obviously in schools and he's in his late teens. Kathy Freeman's pretty much classed, or they're taught apparently in school, that she's one of the best Australian sports people of all times, and I get that and I respect that. But when you look at Volkanovski, I think, and don't quote me on stats, I'm terrible, but I think it was 23 or 26-1. He's gone up a weight class to fight this guy who is the most vicious and probably feared wrestler and grappler and submission artist in the UFC. And he submitted Charles Oliveira recently, who was and got the belt for lightweight, and I just, I broke my heart when Charles was beat. I love Charles Oliveira. His Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is just next level. But today, I was down the local club, and like I said, I took my son, and we had a ball. Had a couple of Stone and Wood, I can't blank. It's the main Stone and Wood one, the yellow one. Anyway, a couple of schooners on tap, and I only had a couple because I had to drive home. I think I had two. And a Pacific Ale, Stone and Wood Pacific Ale? Or is that Little Creatures Pacific Ale? Oh, anyway. I'll remember it at the end of the video when I turn the camera off and go, oh, shit. But anyway, this fight with Volk, because it was obviously fighting for a belt, it's 5 rounds, not 3. 5 rounds, 5 minutes, 25 minutes, you do not stop. You are fighting, you are wrestling, you are grappling. And there were several attempts. Islam didn't look 100%. Volk looked 100%. And Volk, in my view, and I looked at the scorecards, but he won that fight. And I'm not being biased. Look, I respect Islam. But what a fight. 5 rounds. He lasted 5 rounds with this guy. He's an ex-rugby player who's gone into UFC and has turned this world upside down with UFC in Australia. This guy, I'm speechless. I'm without speech. Anyways, I'll get back to the beer and stop rambling on, which I never say that I do. But yeah, had a really, really good afternoon down there at the UFC, and so much respect to Alexander the Great Volkanovski. Just a beast, and I thought he won that fight. I definitely thought he won that fight. There was a couple other contentious issues in the other fights, but yeah, so much respect for him. And to bring the sport here and tie 2 of us are doing a shoey. I don't know how he does them. I like beer out of a nice glass, not a shoe. Never done a shoey. I'm going to tell you about this beer now anyway. I've gone through enough. Love the can. How funky is it? Love it. Yeah, no sediment in the bottom. Or what we commonly call them is kadugadungs. But yeah, it's got some metals all over it. And I'll tell you what, the depth of flavour in that, the depth of the hops, and I'm not being a snob that knows how to give out a medal for beer. Who am I? God forbid. But I can understand why that gets a medal, or at least a top 10 beer that I've had. That would be in my top 10 for a pale ale, for a straight pale ale. It's enjoyable, it's fun. It's got so many, you taste the hops, you taste the fruits, and it's like you taste something else, and you go like a bang, bang, bang. And when a beer does that, you're like, it's not just drinking a beer, is it? It's like drinking a fine wine or a good whiskey or a good scotch. You go, oh, it burnt me throat. But you know what? You just go, hang on a sec. No, to me, I felt this, I felt that, or it was enjoyable in so many different layers. So yeah. Anyway, look, sorry for rambling on, but that's a banger. That is a banger of a pale ale. I think it cost me $9 at the little store here nearby who likes his crafties. So I'm going to be visiting there the next couple of days and get a couple more exciting ones. Anyways, yeah, enough talk about the UFC. And look, again, respect to Volk. What a legend for the sport. Just so much respect. Anyway, like I say, be kind to each other, love each other, be nice to each other, and I will see you at the next one. Cheers, everyone.